Welcome to the Cannabis Bible Study. What law do you listen to? The law of God or the law of your government? Well, they shouldn't contradict each other. And if they do, then we have an issue. Well, let's walk down that road around plant medicine and cannabis and see if the government is speaking for us and for God, or if they're speaking for giant corporations and power and control. I'll start off Genesis 1:29. Then God said, "Behold, I have given you every plant yielding seed that is on the surface of all the earth, and every tree which has fruit yielding seed. It shall be food for you." Well, there you go. That one's pretty straightforward, as you know. Every plant, and I believe even as we turn back to plant medicines and start studying more, we'll even see in the death cap mushroom, there's some kind of enzyme that's medicinal. And so this is God stating what the law is, and I can tell you the Canadian government has broken God's law. And another place that cannabis comes in is in anointing oil, and it's anointing oil is pretty much liquid myrrh, cannabis, olive oil, and cinnamon, I believe, are the mixtures. But Jesus went around healing people, right? And he was also anointing people with this very powerful cannabis oil. So there's two situations where the actual word cannabis is in the Bible. So there's two God speaking to us and giving us this plant, and our government taking it away from us and causing more harm to us than good. People are saying, "Oh, duh." Well, duh. Who's standing up? This is the most important plant, I think, in our entire existence, and they're still keeping it away from us. So one of the most inspiring stories I look to is the Book of Enoch's story, and you wonder why, Rastafarians and Africans praise the herb. It is because it is in Ethiopian Bible they speak of the cannabis plant. And this is Book of Enoch, chapter 24, 25, I believe. "I went from thence to another place. I saw a mountain of fire, flashing both by day and night. I proceeded towards it and perceived 7 splendid mountains, which were all different from each other. These stones were brilliant, beautiful. All were brilliant and splendid to behold, and beautiful was their surface. 3 mountains were towards the east, and strengthened, being placed one upon another, and 3 were towards the south, strengthened in a similar manner. There was likewise deep valleys which did not approach each other, and the 7th mountain was in the midst of them. In length there all resembled the seat of a throne, and an odoriferous tree surrounded them. Among these there was a tree of unceasing smell, nor of those which were in Eden was there one of all the fragrant trees which smelled like this. Its leaf, its flower, and its bark never withered, and its fruit was beautiful. Its fruit resembled the cluster of a palm. I exclaimed, Behold, this tree is godly in aspect, pleasing in its leaf and sight, and its fruit is delightful to the eye. Then Michael, one of the holy and glorious angels who were with me, and one who presided over them, answered and said, Enoch, why dost thou inquire respectest the odor of this tree? Why art thou inquisitive to know it? Then I, Enoch, replied to him and said, Concerning everything I am desirous of instruction, but particularly concerning this tree. He answered me, saying, That mountain which thou beholds the extent of those head resembling the seat of the Lord, will be the seat of which shall sit the holy and great Lord of glory, the everlasting King, and well he shall come and descend to visit the earth with goodness. And the tree of unagreeable smell, nor of an agreeable smell, not one of carnal odor, there shall be no power to touch, until the period of the great judgment, where all shall be punished and consumed forever. This shall be bestowed on the righteous and humble. The fruit of this tree shall be given to the elect. For towards the north shall be towards the north life shall be planted in the holy place, towards the inhabitation of the everlasting King. Then they shall greatly rejoice and exult in the Holy One. The sweet odor shall enter into their bones, and they shall live a long life on the earth, as thy forefathers have lived. Neither in their days shall sorrow, distress, trouble, or punishment afflict them. And I bless the Lord of glory, the everlasting King, because he has prepared the tree for the saints, formed it, and declared that he would give it to them. Praise the Lord of glory. You know, in the book of Enoch is heavily influenced, or it's actually an older story than the Bible, but it resembles Genesis and Revelations, and it talks about the end times. It's like an end time prophecy. So it's a prophetic text, but that also, is an end times prophetic text. And as you can see that Canada legalized cannabis, and like they talk about the elect of like there shall be no power around this plant. You don't hold the power of this plant until the great judgment, right? Until the time of the great judgment. And so in Canada we legalized, and what happened? Well, I'll tell you the story. They took a plant that was literally amazing, is a literal amazing medicine for people, and the biggest people around the business started opening up. There's old stories like for example, the Compassion Club was here for 25 years, and holy smoke, and those guys, they were at the blunt and on the edge of trying to keep cannabis free, and those are the warriors that were really standing behind the medicine, and their intent was clear, and if you look at what happened as the industry exploded and all these dispensaries, hundreds and hundreds of dispensaries opened up, especially around Vancouver and in Nelson, and areas that were quite liberal. It wasn't actually just racketeering, right? It's protection racket. When your town sells you a license, they sold our dispensaries licenses for $5,000 to protect them from federal law, and as long as they're living in it. That's like our municipal government running an extortion ring, because they're saying, we're going to put you in jail or fine you, or they have the ability. So that's extortion. They put fear into them and say, pay me $5,000 a year, which is about $4,700 more than a regular business license. That's it. It is literally a racketeering. Okay, and people like myself supplied those stores with their true medicine, but all around it was they're selling all these different products that I would say are a bit of a corruption on the plant. And I'm glad that we were one of the best selling products in town, because we are the true medicine around this plant. And when I look at what we are looking for, and what people like myself are behind, are about the freedom of the plant, freedom of people, and healing people. So that's not about power. So what they're saying is, there shall be no power to touch until the period of great judgment. So to me, what this is saying is, those that were standing behind the plant and it didn't get corrupted, didn't fall for the fear, if all those dispensaries came together and fought against the government, that, and like the few dispensaries that were running, they just didn't have the power. So they got all these other big dispensaries come up, but they were in there for the for the big business, and their intent was obvious, especially when they were happy to just sign up with the government and throw all the medicine under the bus and all their patients under the bus. So, you know, this is so what are the people running the cannabis industry right now following God's law? No. People will say, well, Book of Enoch. There's 12 copies or 13 copies in the Dead Sea Scrolls. It was a very important book, okay? So there's a reason that this book was written out so many times. They had to write it out for each time, right? It's not like they had a printer. You know, so let's talk about what the regulations came in. It was their biggest thing was like, you know, getting gang money off the streets and stuff like that. Okay, well, the people that were honest about it don't have to hide. They can show their faces and they can show their bank, all their bank stuff, and show them that they're not the criminals that they are, right? So we should, so the elect, or let's say the people that should stand behind the plan, you stand behind the plan because you're righteous. That's why you'll stand behind the plan. That's why you will gain the power after the great judgment, you know? If you're hiding because you're either just scared of your government because they have a law that is against your human right, or you're corrupt. Well, you are not the elect if you're not willing to stand up and be a warrior for this plant. Okay, so, and if you're corrupt, you're not the elect either, right? And the government that brought in these people, that put them into the licensing, it was a big cartel ring, racketeering, fucking extortion circle. And guess and the people that I saw getting power are the most corrupt people, right? Okay, well, like the other thing was protecting children. Okay. Remember, children can just go into stores and buy as much fucking garbage candy as they want, right? And I did a quick, little itchy there. I did a quick mathematics on how much. Well, first of all, this is the evil substance that the government is protecting you from. Okay, and it is 0.9% at the most THC. Okay, it takes 1,200, and nobody's ever died from it, but they believe it could take as much as 1,200 or more milligrams per kilogram to be a lethal dose of THC. So I did the math, and it would be 140 pounds. Okay, and I did the math on how many bottles that they would have to drink for a lethal dose. That was 3,000 bottles. Okay, so let's get the health perspective. Okay, next thing is you guys are worried about people getting into their products. Well, I see what you guys are selling at the stores, and there's Ziploc bags. There's no child protection on it. We even have child-proof jars. Okay, so there you go. Children are protected. The black market, money laundering, whatever, that's, if I'm standing behind my name, I'm happy for you guys to look me over, to sit in the place that I should be sitting in this industry. And so what I see is that it's not that we need to burn the whole cannabis industry to the ground and start over again. Is the people that are willing to put their face in front of the plant and willing to stand scrutiny of doing such and take the judgment of these people and stand. Those people will stand as the elect, right? So what can they do? Well, I had a talk with the police about this, and they said there's nobody going to jail for what you're doing. You're not going. There's no. Okay. Well, then, what does happen? Well, if we get complaints, then we could. They might fine you, and then if they fine you, then what happens if I don't pay my fines? Right? Do you put me in jail? No, they won't put you in jail for that. They might go against your driver's license. Okay, so this is what the law is right now. is they know that they don't want to put me in a courtroom because I will win the court case, right? And set precedents. They don't want to set precedents because then it'll start a free-for-all, right? So instead, they're just going to use their fear tactics and their laws, to try to break a person down. Well, what does that mean? I won't have a driver's license if I don't pay my fine. Because I'm not paying a fine. I will not bow to this communist fucking government that's coming in here. Because 90 years ago, they took away one of our basic human and spiritual rights to this plant. Okay? And now legalization came and they're all talking about all these research into the health and all this, and that's how they got it legalized, right? Is CBC News pumped us all up with all this stuff, and then they legalized, and then this happened. Nobody's talking about it anymore. The studies that are coming out about CBDA that block the virus, they literally we're living in an endemic situation with this virus, and the plant that is talking about in Revelations, they talk about sickness, right? In Revelations, in a book that's talking about the same kind of stories as Revelations, is talking about a plant that's going to heal people, and all these studies are coming out about like CBG and CBD and the acids behind hemp that are helping with these pathogens. Interesting archetypal story that's coming around, So I'm going to follow the archetypal stories of the Bible, and I'm going to follow the stories I would like to be the righteous people in the stories. Know that the best story wins, And this story resurfaced. It could be 22 to 3,500-year-old book, and it's resurfaced, and this story talks about this, okay? So who is breaking God's law? Well, I would say the government, who is holding a plant away and destroying the ability for a person like myself to become part of the market, because they know what a plant like this can do for people. And if it becomes mainstream, then it works against their systems. And you control people's health. That's one of the main axioms of controlling a person. And if you can put your health into the hands of God, which to me is like being conscious of what you're eating, listening to those inner voices when they tell you not to do something that happens to do with your health and happens to do with your mental health, and listening to that, and also using the plants that God gave us to heal ourselves, not turning to this scientism religion where you put your health and mental health into the hands of a system that has not done so well, as you can see. So I'll carry on and carry on and carry on, even if I'm the last person standing. But I'm also inviting people to come and join me in this fight, because I think it is we're being attacked on many fronts, and people don't realize how important cannabis is. And I believe that it took generations and generations to make people turn and be fearful of this plant, when they should really rejoice it and pray to God that gave it to us and thank him for it, not have fear of prosecution through tyrannical government rule. Not happening. You keep finding me. If you put me in jail, I'll hunger strike. I will not bow to your satanic laws. God's law is what rings out in my heart, and I'll follow it. And I hope that people start to realize that they are more powerful than they think. Start speaking your truth and start taking back your rights. It means you must break laws sometimes to do so. If laws are not serving, protecting us, and they are become tyrannical, it is we have to stand against them, or else you're just allowing these rules to come in and pollute our future generations. It's up to us to fight for the future generations. So stand up and fight. You are here right now, but you are affecting timelines of the future. Get involved. Let's take these plants back and don't get distracted by all this other stuff. Take your freedoms back. Much love.